President Trump has fired 2 Democratic commissioners from the Federal Trade Commission, leaving 3 out of the 5 seats vacant. Joining us right now on the latest developments and what they might mean is Barry Nigro. He is former Federal Trade Commission's Deputy Director for the Bureau of Competition. He's now a partner at Fried Frank. And Barry, let's talk about what's happening here. This is something that the White House is doing, saying that they have authority to do it. It does go against a 90-year-old Supreme Court ruling. And I guess this sets up for a little bit of a battle that very likely is going to get picked up by the Supreme Court.
Good morning, Becky. You're exactly right. There are 2 very old cases in the Supreme Court. One dating back to around 1926 that made clear that the president has the ability to dismiss Senate-confirmed executives within the executive branch. The other case is a 1935 case, well-known case called Humphrey's Executor. And that case held with respect to these sort of hybrid regulatory agencies that the president needs good cause in order to dismiss officials. And that's because the statute that authorizes those agencies had specific language in it that talked about the need for a finding of inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance. Some have questioned whether that case is still good law, and what happened yesterday is not a complete surprise in the sense that the acting Solicitor General at the Department of Justice just recently issued a letter stating that the Department of Justice believes that Humphrey's Executor was wrongly decided. And I think what's happening now is the White House is looking for an opportunity to get that issue before the Supreme Court again in order to have them sort of reevaluate whether that case is still good law or not.
It seems like it would be a little jarring and a little hectic if every president who came in fired every commissioner who disagreed with him anywhere. But I guess that's what you're talking about. Are these agencies going to be reflections of the party that occupies the White House at any point, or will they have more of a bipartisan feel to them and something that's maybe a little more continual administration to administration?
I mean, that's exactly what happens every 4 years within all of the executive agencies.
Yeah.
And the question you raise with these bipartisan agencies is whether whether the turnover is going to be disruptive. I mean, one thing to keep in mind is that most of the decisions of these agencies, and I'm most familiar with the FTC, are unanimous. I mean, the 2 Republican commissioners, Chair Ferguson and Commissioner Holyoke, they voted along with the Democrats for several of the last merger enforcement actions. Most of the decisions, 90% plus, are 5-0 votes. So I'm not sure.
I thought Ferguson said that he, when he was in the minority, had written hundreds of dissenting opinions.
Well, when it came to merger enforcement actions, by and large, they supported the actions that were brought by the last administration. And if you look back over the last 20, 30 years, you'll see that most decisions, I think in excess of 90%, are 5-0. So there are differences on the margins, but by and large, there tends to be a lot of consensus at the agency.
Let's talk very quickly about the Google-Wiz merger that was announced yesterday, or the purchase of Wiz by Google. This is a big deal, more than $32 billion for the price tag on that, the biggest Google has ever done. This is being seen as a litmus test by the markets as to what this new antitrust enforcement agency, between the Department of Justice and the FTC, what they'll be doing with mergers and acquisitions, especially in big tech. What do you anticipate happening here?
So a lot of people will be watching this, no question. It's a large deal. It's in tech, and the current administration has said that they're going to take a close look at tech. It involves cybersecurity. I think this will be most likely looked at by the Department of Justice, not the FTC. DOJ has handled most of the recent matters involving Google. They handle cybersecurity, they handle tech, and so I expect it'll land on Assistant Attorney General Slater's desk. The leadership team there is enforcement-minded. I worked with all of them in the first Trump administration, and I'm expecting that this will get a very close look. Just given the size of the deal, given the position of Wiz in the market. I mean, currently, I think Wiz is serving some of Google's competitors, and so that will raise some of the usual vertical issues that the Trump administration and the Biden administration took a close look at.